$185,000 a month, $80,000 a month, $500,000 in a month. These are 3 real YouTube channels in my community, and not one of them had over 200,000 subscribers when they made this amount of money in a single month. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you how to beat the new YouTube algorithm using Claude AI in about 5 extra minutes of real work per video so that you can pull numbers like that too. Because here's what nobody's telling you. It was never about beating the algorithm. It's about beating the game the algorithm is actually playing. And early this year, on January 14th to be exact, YouTube blew up the old game and they rebuilt the entire algorithm around AI. Meanwhile, there are creators with 4 million subscribers making less than the average teenager's summer job. So if you've been grinding and posting and doing everything the gurus told you to do and the views and the money still aren't showing up, that's not your fault. You were just playing the wrong game. And there's 3 moves that fix it. And the new algorithm doesn't just allow these 3 moves, it rewards them harder than anything I've ever seen in 6 years on this platform. So if you appreciate me making this type of content and you want me to make more of it in the future, then let me know by gently tapping that like button, and let's dive into it right now. Okay, now before I give you the 3 moves in this presentation, there's one rule and I want you to write this down. Claude is your co-pilot, it is not your replacement. Now here's what I mean by that. If you use AI to think faster, research faster, and find opportunities faster, you're gonna win. If you try to use AI to generate the entire video, for instance, slap a robot voice on it, even if it's your own robot voice, and then you upload pure soulless slop, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose hard. And I'm not making this up. YouTube now requires you to label content that's AI generated or significantly AI altered as altered or synthetic. And the new algorithm treats that label as a distribution signal. Now, on top of that, the new system literally watches your video the way a human does and measures whether real people were actually satisfied by your video. And AI slop does not satisfy anybody. Shocking, I know. So here's the play. Let Claude do the heavy thinking, right? The niche, the ideas, the strategy, then you bring the face, the voice, the experience, and the proof. And that combination is going to be your unfair advantage. So the analogy here is the AI is like a plane, right? A lot of these new planes are very advanced. They have autopilot, but they still need a pilot to take off, to land, and they need a pilot there to run quality control, AKA make sure that nothing goes wrong. And if something does go wrong, the pilot takes over. So you are the pilot, but Claude can be your co-pilot, and it can also be the plane itself. But if you try to just let Claude do whatever it wants and just make AI make all of your content, it's just not going to work. Despite what all of these goofy gurus say, right? And even if it does work, other people will be able to copy you very easily, right? If you can do it with AI, then other people will be able to do it with AI. And so even if it does work, it's not gonna work for very long. And even if for whatever reason it does work for a long period of time, YouTube is almost certainly going to ban you or demonetize you, so you're not gonna be able to make money from the channel anyway. And I've actually seen a ton of people that are making this AI content that not only got one channel banned, but they actually got their entire portfolio of channels banned, right? So YouTube is not messing around with this AI slop stuff. And I know all the gurus are gonna tell you that you can make your content like 99% with AI or even 100% AI created. And that is just not the case. AI is an incredible tool that can do most of the heavy lifting for you. It can be the plane, it can be the autopilot for the plane, it can even be your co-pilot if you're really good at using it, which I'll talk about how to do in this video. But at the end of the day, you need to be in control. You need to be there to guide it in the right direction. Cool? Cool. Okay, let's move into number 1. Pillar number 1 is you need to be first, not better. And I call this the Lindbergh Law. And this is the single most powerful idea in marketing that almost no YouTuber understands. Now, a quick question here is, who was the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean? Charles Lindbergh. Easy. Pretty much everybody knows that name if they've been in history class, right? Okay, now who was the second person to fly solo across the Atlantic? Yeah, I probably have no clue, right? And here's the crazy part. The second guy, his name was Burt Hinkler. He was a much better pilot than Charles Lindbergh, okay? He flew faster, he used less fuel, he was more experienced, and history forgot the man ever existed. Now, this is straight out of the book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And the very first law is the law of leadership. And it states that it's better to be first than it is to be better. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because if I ask you who was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, you probably would be able to say that it was Amelia Earhart. Now, is Amelia Earhart famous because she was like the third or whatever number she was person to fly across the Atlantic? No. She's famous because she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, right? So she didn't win by being faster. She won by creating a brand new category that she could be first in. And that is the second law, which is the law of the category. And this is your entire YouTube strategy in one sentence. If you can't be first, create a category that you can be first in. And this matters today more than it ever has before, because remember that January 14th update that I talked about? Well, the new algorithm now sorts viewers into tiny specific sub niches based on exactly what they watch, not broad topics. So when your content is broad, it has nothing to latch onto and it dies in the feed. And this is why you see even the biggest YouTubers on the platform like Mr. Beast having declining views. However, when your content is specific, the algorithm knows exactly who to show it to. Think about it like this. The broad market is the ocean. Everyone with a camera is in there, thrashing around, drowning, fighting sharks that have 4 million subscribers, and it is really, really hard to win in the ocean. But if you go ashore right next to the ocean, there are lots of tiny puddles, and there's almost no competition in those puddles. In that puddle, you don't fight anybody. You just become the king of it. Then once you own the puddle, you can expand, right? So you can become the king or queen of a puddle, then the king of a small pond, then a lake, then a river, then the sea, and then eventually you might become the king or the queen of the ocean. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually niche down? Great question. There's more than one way to do it, and most people only know one, and here are the big ones, right? So you can niche by who? A specific type of person, right? So not fitness, but fitness for desk workers with back pain. You can niche by problem as well. Not personal finance, but how to dig out of $50,000 in credit card debt, or how to get out of $100,000 in student loan debt. Or you could niche down by outcome. So it's not cooking, but it's 30-minute high-protein dinners for people who hate cooking. Or you could niche down by the method, not investing, but investing using nothing but index funds. Or you could niche down by going deeper into a subtopic, right? So not tech, but home networking for small businesses. Or you can niche down by combining two things into a lane that nobody owns. So personal finance for nurses. You can even niche down by location, right? One of our clients runs a channel literally called Living in Austin with Adam. And he's a realtor that basically just covers cool stuff to do around Austin, including places that might be good to buy a house there. And he's absolutely crushing it by doing that. So you can niche down by location. Now, every single one of those is just a different door into the same room, a category where you get to be number one. And you want to see this work in real life? Well, here's the example of my brother, Zach. So Zach is 50 years old and he is, and I say this with love, completely technologically challenged. The man genuinely struggles to attach a file to an email sometimes. But instead of starting another broad drowning in the ocean channel, he picked a puddle. He was helping young people and career switchers break into high-paying blue-collar trades jobs. Super specific, right? His niche was basically one sentence. I help young people get into high-paying trades careers. And because of this, 29 days after posting his first video, that video had blown up. It eventually got over 800,000 views. And by day 29, he had a $214 AdSense day. By month 3, he was pulling $450 in a single day. So he literally went from zero to a full-time income in less than 1 month. And this is a 50-year-old who's not extra charismatic, who's not very tech savvy, and had never posted a YouTube video in his life or even really made a video besides just recording on his phone. And he was posting on a brand new channel. And the reason he was able to do this is because he niched down and the category was right. It wasn't the editing, it wasn't the gear, it was the category. So here's how you start today. Open Claude, paste in your background, your job, your skills, the stuff you're weirdly good at, even what you watch for fun, right? Then ask it this. Based on this, give me 5 specific YouTube niche ideas where I could realistically become the #1 channel. Write each one as I help blank do blank. And that's it. 2 minutes and you've got 5 puddles to choose from. Pick the one that makes you go, oh, I could actually own that. Now, by the way, that's a really quick and dirty way of getting some good ideas for what you could niche down with. But I'm actually gonna be hosting a free live workshop where we are gonna dig in way deeper and help you dial in your niche, including giving you an AI that has been trained on thousands of hours of us helping people pick their niche. Hey, quick break. I'm going to be doing a live training this week on how to start a YouTube channel step-by-step for beginners. This is going to be for people who want to start a channel, but they don't know what niche to pick, what videos to make, or how to actually get started the right way. And it's a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at the training. So just as an example, I'm going to be giving away my niche validator. This is going to be available both for ChatGPT as well as Claude, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss it. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me and you'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to seeing you in there. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below, put it in your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it or you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well. And you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. And now back to your regularly scheduled content. Okay, so this brings us to pillar number 2, which is to pick the right ideas. And another way I like to think of this is it's like the cells of the body. Because one thing that almost nobody wants to admit is on YouTube, the idea does the heavy lifting. The idea does the work. It's not the production quality. So your niche is like the body, right? But the body is made of cells. And on YouTube, your video ideas are the cell, right? So they're the building blocks that the whole thing is made out of. So get the cells right and the body is healthy. Get them wrong and it doesn't matter how pretty the skin looks, right? So the body is like the niche, but the cells are the video ideas that actually make up the niche. So if you pick the right idea, you can make genuinely mediocre content and it will still win. Average editing, a thumbnail that took you about 15 seconds to make, a nervous host that's not very good at presenting, that has the charisma of an overhead flight announcement.
Great careers, don't get me wrong, but it's like the internet collectively decides these are the only options.
And it just won't matter, right? So like, for instance, my brother in the very first video he made, he got a bunch of comments from people who literally thought that his video was AI because he was so monotone in that video that they actually thought it was AI. And it just didn't matter, right? And it's because the idea dragged the whole video across the finish line. The idea did the heavy lifting for him. But the reverse is true as well. A beautifully edited masterpiece built on the wrong idea will get 47 views and die in silence. And trust me, I've seen it happen a lot, and it's happened to me on YouTube as well. I've spent like over 100 hours on a video before that I thought was just this absolute magnum opus masterpiece, and then it got less than the average views that my channel gets, right? It was absolute crickets. And then there's been other videos where I spent about 30 minutes on it. I threw it up thinking that it wasn't gonna get any views, and many of them end up being outliers. And that is why I have discovered this through trial and error, seeing it happen hundreds of times at this point, that the idea of the video is the thing that does the heavy lifting. So here's the analogy that I want stuck in your head forever, which is the hot dog cart analogy. So imagine the world's best Michelin star restaurant, and you stick it right at the exit of an all-you-can-eat buffet. Nobody buys a thing because the crowd is walking out, they just ate, and they're full. So it doesn't matter how good your restaurant is. Now imagine a mediocre, kind of greasy hot dog cart parked in front of a stadium full of starving people. You sell out in 10 minutes every single time. On YouTube, a bad video pulling huge views on a small channel is that hot dog cart. It found a crowd of starving people, right? An audience that was desperate for an idea that nobody was feeding them. So your move isn't to invent something brand new, your move is to park a better cart in the exact same spot. Because at the end of the day, what matters more than anything else is supply and demand. If you have a massive amount of demand for something and very little supply for it, that's gonna make your job 10 times easier, right? If there's a starving crowd of people that want your thing, they're starving for the ideas that you're talking about, then your content doesn't have to be that good. So how do you find those starving crowds? I use this method that we call the outlier filter. And this is not like normal outlier videos, because you're gonna be hunting for videos that hit all 4 of these criteria. 1, the video has over 100,000 views. 2, the channel has under 100,000 subscribers. 3, the view to subscriber ratio is at least 5:1 or preferably more. And 4, the video itself is mediocre or preferably bad, right? So one easy way to kind of look at that is if it has a really bad thumbnail or really bad title. But another thing you can look at is really bad lighting in the video, or the person's not in focus, or the audio is bad. So that combination is a giant flashing sign that says starving audience, weak cart. So get in here as fast as you can, because there is a supply and demand imbalance. And the worse the packaging is compared to the views, the bigger your opportunity, because beating it is gonna be easy. And here's where Claude becomes your unfair advantage. One of our clients, Felix, is in the investing niche, and it's one of the most competitive shark-infested oceans on all of YouTube. So how did he scale his channel to #1 in his space, literally the fastest growing channel in the space? Well, he didn't outspend anybody. He built a workflow where he'd scrape what real people were asking about, right? So he was pulling actual questions and pain points off of Twitter in real time, and then he would get that information into his videos as fast as possible. So one of the ways he would do that is he would dump it all into Claude and have Claude surface the patterns, right? What is the market sentiment? What's the big news that's happening right now? What are the exact ideas that people are starving for that nobody else was making well yet? Starving crowds found at scale in minutes. Then he just parked better carts outside of the stadium. And remember Craig, the realtor that I mentioned before? Same principle. He made content on a video that did really well in his state, and his very first video using this approach cracked over 100,000 views. And here is your move that you could make this week, right? Go to YouTube, type in a keyword from your niche, and filter to videos only. Then hunt for that combo. Big views, small channel, weak thumbnail, or just weak video in general, and then screenshot every single one that you find and drop them in a doc. Then take that doc to Claude and say, here are proven video ideas in my niche. For each one, give me a sharper title and a stronger angle so that my version beats the original. Then you copy the idea, never the video, and then you make a better hot dog cart. All right, pillar number 3 is to get the right views and avoid the dancing clown trap. And this is the one that lets you beat the algorithm without even winning the view game, right? So stop chasing views and start chasing the right views, okay? Because the thing you need to escape is what I like to call the dancing clown trap. Most YouTubers are dancing clowns. They're like court jesters. They'll do anything for one more view. They'll chase trends that they hate. They'll make content that they're embarrassed by. They'll scream into a thumbnail, right? The classic O face on the thumbnail, right? And it's all to entertain strangers who will never hand them a single dollar. They are playing the views game. But the truth is, subscriber count and view count mean almost nothing when it comes to actually making money. Let me prove it. Boogie298, he's got over 4 million subscribers, and you know what he reportedly makes? About $3,700 a month, so around $40,000 a year, with 4 million subscribers. And if you don't believe me, he literally went on a podcast tour where he revealed his income. Now, let me point the finger here just for a moment, right? Because some of you are about to make this exact mistake. You're sitting there thinking, once I hit 100,000 subscribers, the money will come in. No, it won't. Not if you're getting the wrong views. You'll hit 100,000 subscribers, stare at that $300 AdSense check, and wonder, what the hell happened? I've watched it crush people that should have known better. And here's why. Picture YouTube money as a pyramid. At the wide bottom, you've got pure entertainment, right? This is gaming, reactions, comedy, tons of views, but you're making maybe $1 or $2 per 1,000 views. That is the dancing clown floor. Move up a level and you've got mass market education content. This is better, right? You can make anywhere between $5 to $40 per 1,000 views on average. Then you've got niche educational content, and this is even better yet. You can make about $100 to $1,000 per 1,000 views. Then you've got high ticket niche content. And this is where 1,000 views can be worth $5,000 or even more. Yes, really, because the right people watched, right? So it's the same effort to climb that pyramid. Now, it's about the same amount of effort to get the same amount of views, right? It's not 5,000 times harder to get 1,000 views with a high ticket niche versus getting 1,000 views in the entertainment niche. They're actually pretty comparable when it comes to the difficulty of getting views, but it does make like 1,000 to 5,000 times more per 1,000 views. So it's about the same effort to climb that pyramid as it takes to stay on the floor, but the higher you go, the fewer views you need to make a great living. And I'm living proof of the gap. Now, my main channel typically makes about $400 to $800 per 1,000 views. And that's a bit more of a mass market education channel. However, my second channel, my niche channel, which I launched last year, makes about $4,000 or more per 1,000 views. So it makes 10 times the money for the exact same amount of views. And it makes about 1,000 times more money than the average channel that gets the same amount of views. And this is exactly how our clients win with channels that look small on paper. So just as an example, Josh made about $185,000 in a single month before he even hit 100,000 subscribers. This was back when he had less than 100,000 subscribers. Nicole made over $80,000 a month with less than 60,000 subscribers. And Sean went from $30,000 a month to over $500,000 a month. Same guy, just finally playing the right game. And they're not special, right? They're not smarter than you. They're just running the same playbook that I'm handing you right now, which is get the right views and then monetize them correctly. So here's your move. take your niche hypothesis from move number 1, I help blank do blank, and paste it into Claude with this. Based on this niche, give me the 3 best ways to make money beyond AdSense, the specific offer, who it's for, and roughly what I could charge. Now, YouTube is amazing because you can sell just about any product or service on YouTube, right? All the different side hustles, products and services, one-person businesses, etc., that work out there, they all actually work. It's just the problem is you need traffic, and you need good traffic, and that's exactly what YouTube gives you. And this can get you started in the right direction, finding the right traffic. With that being said, we are gonna dive a lot deeper into that in the live training, so I highly recommend clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below to attend that. We're even giving away a free AI tool that, again, we spent thousands of hours on that helps you figure out the best monetization method for your niche. And when you do this, you're not gonna be building a channel and hoping that the money shows up. You're gonna be building a business that just happens to use YouTube as the front door. If you don't believe me that this tool is this effective, Carla only gets about 100 to 200 views per video, and she just closed a 6-figure contract from her YouTube channel, right? So she's literally making more money with a channel that has about 1,500 subscribers than Boogie2988 is making from a channel with 4 million. Let that sink in for a second. All right, so let's bring this home. Everybody out there is panicking about the new YouTube algorithm like it's the enemy, but it's not. For you, for the person who's willing to be specific and play smart, it might be the single biggest gift YouTube has ever handed to beginner creators. So be first in a category that you can own. Pick ideas that a starving audience is already begging for, and get the right views so that you can actually get paid. 3 moves. Claude does the heavy lifting in about 5 minutes per video, and you bring the soul. Now, the way that you actually make videos with Claude could be like an entire hour long or maybe even longer than that video here on YouTube, but we are gonna go into that in the live training. So click the link in the description in the pinned comment below. But the point is, the job is the floor, YouTube is the ceiling, and the ceiling just got a whole lot higher. Now, I know that for 99% of people watching this, you're just gonna enjoy the free content, you're gonna attend my live trainings, which are also completely free, and we're never gonna end up working together, and that's completely fine. For a very small percentage of you out there, you're gonna want my team and me to help you actually build this YouTube channel, right? Help you pick your niche, your ideas, your entire monetization engine. And that is exactly what we do inside of my Done With You coaching program, or we also have a Done For You option where we literally just do all of the work for you. And inside of these programs, we've helped clients generate over $100 million in results. And these are real people, real revenue. And we are opening up a limited number of spots. So if you're serious, book a call with us by using the link in the description and the pinned comment below. But this is only for people who are very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. The typical types of people we work with are business owners who want to grow and monetize their personal brands using YouTube as the mother platform, and then you can syndicate the content to other platforms. For instance, we just had a business owner join who literally owns a golf course, right? So really smart people watch these videos, and those are the types of people who really want to treat YouTube like a business, and they see all the incredible results that we've gotten our clients, and that's what they want to work with us. Number 2 would be YouTubers who have a big channel and they're getting a lot of views, but they're struggling with monetization. Number 3 would be YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even harder. And then number 4 are people who are experts, professionals, right? People who have a lot of value to give to the world, and they want to treat YouTube like a business. They want to solve other people's problems, right? You're not trying to make entertainment content. You're trying to make educational content that actually solves people's problems, and you're trying to treat YouTube like a business. So if any of those 4 apply to you, then go ahead and click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to book a call. We only accept about 18% of people who work with us, so only do it if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. And if you want to check out a case study of someone that we helped get to $500,000 a month, you can check that out by clicking right here.